All right, let's talk about Git. If you're in the world of software, you've heard of it, you probably use it every day. But we're going to dig into how it makes teamwork, well, work. How it turns chaos into something elegant and, actually efficient. Let's jump in.
So, picture this. It's the classic dev nightmare, isn't it? You've got a team of, say, 10 brilliant people all hammering away on the same project, editing the same files. How on earth do you stop them from just breaking everything? One person's update completely wiping out someone else's? How do you manage that potential chaos?
Yep, you guessed it, they use Git. It's the tool that was literally designed from day one to solve this exact problem. Okay, so before we dive into the nuts and bolts of how Git actually works, I think it's super important to understand the why. We need to feel the chaos that it was designed to fix in the first place. And this quote just nails it, right? It's the fundamental problem of working on a team. You have to move fast, but you can't break things. You might have one person adding an awesome new feature while someone else is scrambling to fix a major bug. If they both have to edit the same file, boom, conflict. The real trick is figuring out how to solve those conflicts without bringing the entire team to a screeching halt.
So, what's Git's big, elegant solution to all this? Well, the magic really starts with one core idea. It's called branching, and it is the absolute foundation for working together safely.
With the old version control systems, making a branch was a huge deal. You had to copy the entire project folder. It was slow, it was clunky, it ate up disk space. But in Git, a branch is, it's almost nothing. It's just a tiny, lightweight little pointer to a specific snapshot in time, a single commit. That's why creating a new branch or switching between them feels instantaneous. It's that simple.
And that's the real power of that simple little pointer. When you make a new branch, what you're really doing is creating a fork in the road, a brand new, totally independent timeline for your work. You can go off and create a crazy new feature branch and just go wild with experiments. And the whole time, the main codebase, the main branch, is completely safe and untouched. It's protected from all your chaos until you're absolutely sure you're ready to bring those changes back in.
So the most important thing to remember here is safety. It's all about isolation. Because every single new feature, every bug fix, lives in its own little bubble, its own branch. You can be confident that your main line of code, the stuff that's actually out there running for your customers, is always stable. It's always ready to go.
Okay, great. So branches give us these safe, isolated little sandboxes to play in, but that's just on one person's computer, right? How does the rest of the team see all this brilliant work? How do we share these branches? Well, that is where remotes come into the picture.
And this is a really key difference from how things used to be. Git is what we call a distributed system. That means you don't just have a copy of the files you're working on. Oh no, you have the entire history of the entire project, right there on your own laptop. That's why Git is so incredibly fast. You can look at old versions, make changes, create branches, all without even being connected to the internet. Everyone on the team has their own complete, self-contained repository. So what exactly is a remote? Honestly, the best way to think about it is like a bookmark. It's just a nickname, a convenient shortcut. Instead of having to remember some long, complicated server address every time you want to share your code, you just give it a name, like Origin. That's all it is. It's a pointer that tells your local copy of the project where the shared central version lives. And here's a super important point. Sharing your code isn't automatic. It doesn't just happen in the background. You are in complete control. You decide when you're ready to push your changes up to that shared remote for your team to see. And you decide when you want to pull their latest changes down to your computer. It's a very deliberate manual process. You're always in the driver's seat. All right, so we've got our two key ingredients, right? We have branches for working in isolation, and we have remotes for sharing those branches. The final piece of the puzzle, the thing that brings it all together, is the pull request. Think of it as the formal handshake of Git collaboration. A pull request, or a PR as you'll always hear it called, is way more than just a notification. It's literally a request. You're saying, hey everyone, I think my work on this branch is done. Could you please review it and pull it into the main project? But more than that, it's the start of a conversation. It becomes this dedicated forum where the team can discuss the proposed changes, give feedback, and review the code before it ever gets integrated. You know what? Let's just walk through a quick story to see how this all plays out in the real world. We've got two developers, Mary and John. This little 5-step dance they're about to do, it's basically the heartbeat of modern software development.
So first up
is Mary. She's been working hard on her new feature, and it's all tucked away nice and safe on her Some Feature branch. When she's done, she pushes that branch up to the shared repository. Then, she opens a new pull request and says, "Hey John, you're the project lead. Can you take a look at this for me?"
All right, now it's John's turn. He gets a notification. He clicks on the PR and can see everything. All of Mary's commits, a nice little summary of all the changes, and he can even comment on a specific line of code. He happens to spot a tiny bug, so he just leaves a comment right there, inside the pull request. The whole discussion is happening right next to the code it's about. It's perfect.
So Mary sees John's feedback. Does she have to start all over? Nope. She just makes the fix on her branch, creates one more commit, and pushes it up again. And here is the really cool part. That new commit, that fix, just automatically shows up in the original pull request. It becomes part of this living, breathing record of the work. John gets another ping, sees the new commit right there next to his original comment. The fix looks great, so he gives his approval, clicks that big merge button, and bam! Just like that, Mary's feature is now officially part of the main project. And the best part, the entire story, the initial code, the conversation, the fixes, it's all perfectly documented and saved in that pull request forever.
So that's the process in a nutshell. But why does this all matter so much? Why is this workflow considered so revolutionary? Let's zoom out and connect all this techie stuff to the real-world impact it has on a business.
Look, this isn't just about making life easier for developers, though it definitely does that. This whole process fundamentally changes how a company can operate. Because every change is small and self-contained, teams can ship new stuff way faster and more often. That built-in code review in every single pull request? That skyrockets your code quality and crushes bugs before they even start. A stable main code base means your product is reliable, which means happy customers. And because everyone can work in parallel, your team can grow and innovate without constantly blocking each other.
And this chart really drives the point home. The old way of doing things was these huge, terrifying, monolithic releases. You'd bundle up like 6 months of work and just pray it all worked. But with a modern Git workflow, you can release small, safe updates all the time. You're not just faster, you're smarter. You're lowering your risk with every release and getting feedback from your customers in these quick, manageable cycles.
When you really think about it, this is so much bigger than just a tool for writing code. It's a blueprint, a powerful pattern for collaboration. It's a way for people to work on their own and parallel, then propose changes, discuss them openly, and finally, integrate them safely. This transparent, accountable way of building things has completely transformed the software industry. Which kind of makes you wonder, right? If this workflow can change how we build software, what else could it transform?